So since I got engaged 6 months ago, I've been full on self-improvement, trying to change my looks. I'll put a picture up here of what I looked like when I got engaged 6 months ago. And I was curious where I stood from an objective perspective. Like, it's really hard to rate yourself because you see yourself in the mirror every day. I think it's actually a bias where you rate yourself even higher and you kind of don't see your asymmetries because you see your face so much. So I wanted an objective opinion. And the first one was ratebywaffles.com. So you can get a general idea of the scale here from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I went with the middle option here. That way I could get a rating out of 10, face analysis, and then a looksmaxxing PDF report. And I wanted it as soon as possible. So I added $5 for the 1-day delivery. So here's what I got back very fast as promised. Hey man, your rating analysis is attached here. You scored a 6 out of 10, which compared to thousands of others puts you in the top 25%. One thing I noticed is it's clear you're keeping on top of looksmaxxing. I think about how you can start. I'm not worried about women in my life, but I'm more worried about the technical aspect of what I can do to improve for income purposes, getting more clients, more trustworthiness, the other benefits associated with looksmaxxing. So here, if I pull up the actual, by the way, these were the pictures that I sent. So this was a most recent trip to North Carolina in the mountains, and I had like the Sony camera, so the focal length depth wasn't manipulated. And then I just had like a really bad selfie with a little bit of acne for good measure. So if I open up the report here, to cut straight to the point, you are a 6 out of 10. So the best features that I got was long ramus, which I think is this section, straight mandible, jawline has good forward growth, which is funny because I need to get jaw surgery soon for jaw asymmetry. Broad chin, good eyebrow thickness and shape, compact mid-face, good hair thickness, texture. Thank you to dutasteride and minoxidil for that. I've been keeping up with my microneedling as well. So gotta pay tribute to that. Good hairline, facial definition, and low body fat. This was the biggest one when I went from, I don't know, probably like 30% body fat all the way down to, I'd say I'm like maybe 12, 13% now. But that total, I started at around 190. So I was the CEO of bloat, the CEO of bulk. And now I'm currently right around 154. So call it around 40 pounds that I lost to get from the 25, 30% body fat to 12%. And then he mentions almond eye shape. Here are my worst features in order of importance. Number 1, significant facial asymmetry. I'm actually really glad he pointed that out because I do actually have one side of my jaw that has grown more than the other. So I have a bone asymmetry that I actually need to get corrected through lower jaw surgery. So I actually have that planned within the next year or so. I'm currently doing my Invisalign right now to get my teeth lined up so that 1 year from now, I can get that lower jaw surgery. Essentially, he's gonna take the jaw, the right side is a little bit bigger than the left, and it's gonna shift it into position here. So it's symmetrical, and we're also gonna add the genioplasty on top of that to give the chin more projection because of the fact that the shift in the lower jaw will cause some recession inherently. So I'm actually really happy he pointed that out. The second is a slight narrowing of the lower third. I see what he means there in terms of like this kind of, I understand you want kind of like a 1-to-1 ratio. So the side growth of the jaw, not 1-to-1 with the cheekbone. So that makes sense to me. And then under eye area can be more supported. Gotcha. Okay. So maybe some recession of the upper jaw area. Okay. And then short-term looksmaxxing recommendations. Style-wise, your build looks a good shape, so wear clothes that wrap around in a complimenting way. Muscle fit works best. Mention your height, but must say you look a little short, 5'8", 9. You're actually spot on. If this is the case, wear shoes with lifts to get up to, 5'10". He says he's 5'10", and he wears Nike Air Force Ones, which bump me up to 6 foot. Haircut is good, suits your skull shape, nice. I'm actually growing it out a little bit more in the back. Your jawline is your best feature and has good definition. So I think it's best to stay clean shaven. That's so funny to hear because for most of my life, for the last like 5-6 years, I've had a full beard. I did not shave a single time. I've had a beard the entire last 5 to 6 years of my life, and I thought I was never going to shave it. And that just goes to show how impactful being lean is for your face. Like I had a really fat face, very different facial width to height ratio compared to now, just purely based upon leanness. And if you think right now you have a really fat face or a wide face, it's actually, even though, being at a higher body fat, your face is going to look fatter than the typical person. It's actually a hidden advantage because of the fact that your face is so wide. That means you've got great bone definition under that face. So if you're leaning down, that bone definition is going to pop through. A great example of this is a UFC fighter, Drew Dober. So Drew Dober, if I pull up like before and after pictures, so he had this really, really fat face. Keep in mind, he's a UFC fighter, so he's pretty lean. And you see how wide his face is? And then he leans down and look at that bone structure pop up from underneath. So, and even the chin projection, that's what lower body fat can do. Look at this picture. He's got a six pack, like I'd say he's around maybe 15, 17, close to 20 maybe body fat compared to like, maybe we're talking like 13 to low 10s. That's crazy. But it's a hidden advantage if you have kind of when you're in a bulked position, because you've got all that hidden jawline underneath and chin projection. And then surgery wise, he said he wouldn't recommend anything. Top 33%. I don't need to go to extreme measures such as Southeast Asia or single mothers. I didn't know that was a strategy. Okay, so all three environments, perfect. I think overall, first of all, he sent it as promised, like within 12 hours. So I was very happy for the turnaround. And I think the points for what you pay, the $25, very worth it, especially if there's like a specific thing you don't know about yourself. Like if I didn't know the asymmetry, for example, I think it's a huge value add. Okay, now we're on to the Face IQ rating. So I didn't go with the premium analysis because it took a little bit longer. So I opted just for the basic Face IQ rating. He's got a specific rating scale that he utilizes. You can see kind of an example here. You've got Speed and Jack Harlow as a 5.
Built.
You've got Aiden Ross here at like 5.25, Andrew Tate at 4.75, just to give you kind of a reference range of where he's putting certain people. Again, all subjective, but it's interesting to see the comparison between different scales. So let me pull up my report from Face IQ. So I sent the same pictures. The only difference is I actually sent one smiling this time because I forgot in the last one to show my teeth. So maybe that'll help me a little bit. I don't know. So he said, thanks for your purchase. Here is your rating, 6.5 out of 10, which I was like, oh, that's pretty low seemingly, but it's actually a top 5% of face. So the way his rating scale is pretty harsh. So if I pull up this visual here, this is kind of like the distribution of the facial rating. So most are going to fall between that 4 to 5.5. And then you start to get lower and lower percentile as you work your way up from 6, 7, and then obviously 8, 9, which are going to be like one in millions. You're notably above average. Most people will find you attractive. Subjectivity still comes into play at this tier. So probably referring to like different phenotypes, different attraction preferences, but nearly everyone will find you good looking. So after kind of understanding the way he grades it, I'm actually very happy with that. So he even has this visual here. So this is the percentile ranking you're in based upon the rating. So if I'm at a 6.5, I'm at a 3.7% percentile, and then you get to like a 7 out of 10, it's a 1.46%. And that's just based upon that average distribution. So, and then I think he said 10 is like unattainable. Like that's not even a real human. So, I mean, overall, I think I didn't get any kind of like tips on what was good, what was bad. It was more just like a basic rating. I have to do the more advanced one if I want to get any more insight. But overall, so pretty interesting. 6 on one scale, 6.5 on the other. I'll take that any day of the week. Very, very happy with that. Got a few things to improve. As I mentioned, the jaw correction surgery coming up, my lower jaw surgery, that'll help with my asymmetry. And I also have the TMJ pain on the right side. So that happens within about a year. I'm going to be very excited to do that. But overall, Face IQ also sent it on time. I think both are very notable, great resources. So I'll link them in the bio if you're interested in taking the analysis, and let me know what you get in the comments. Thanks for watching. Take care.